kids. So um, today's assignment has to do with finding the main idea. Now this one is going to be a little bit longer. So this is the main reason that I am not going to be giving you any other assignments for the rest of this week, because I want to make sure that you have enough time to finish this assignment. Okay, so we're just going to have our meeting tomorrow from 2:30 to 3:30 here on Canvas in conferences, which is down here. So make sure that you are there for that. Bring a question about a work or an assignment, and either a joke, a pun, or a funny story that you would like to tell the class. Just so we have that moment to kind of share and hang out and see each other, because we haven't seen each other in a long time. That's why this assignment is a little bit longer, is because this is it for the rest of the week, okay? So in order to get to this assignment, you need to look for the newsela or newsela, whatever you want to call it, over on the left side. I've already linked Canvas to newsela, so you don't have to worry about it. As soon as you click on it, it will take you directly to newsela, the newsela page. Then you'll have to go up to the upper left-hand corner, and you'll see where it says binder at the very top. You'll click on that and then scroll down to find the assignment, which is called Machines Can Diagnose Sick Children. There are 3 different pieces of this assignment you have to complete. You have to complete the power words, the short answer, and then the 4 multiple choice questions, only for the ELA portion. So when we go to newsela, the first thing that you're going to see is, once you get on the article itself, is that the title of the article says AI, or artificial intelligence, can determine what's wrong with a patient, studies show. So you'll see this over on the side, which is the activities, but I'm not going to worry about that right now, only to show you, when you click on it, there are 3 assignments that come up. I only want you to do the ELA assignments. We've got power words, right, which is a short answer question, and then a quiz, which is 4 questions. So I'm going to click out of that. I will go over the activities in a little while. The first thing I'm going to do is go through the reading and show you some of the features here. So we know that the topic that we've been looking at this week has been artificial intelligence, aka robots, that can think for themselves. I want you to look at the published date here. The last article you read was from 2017. This one is more recent. This is from 2019. And the word count is 946 words. So this one is about 300 words longer than the previous article. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and read the article for you. In U.S. emergency rooms, the average wait time to see a doctor is more than 2 hours. These ERs are overburdened. There are more patients in need than there are doctors, nurses, and other staff to help them. Many parents have suffered through hours in the ER with a sick, upset child, only to get sent home because their case is not deemed urgent. Now, if you don't know what the word deemed means, all you have to do is click on it, okay? And you can click here to get it sound out, and then you can read the short explanation of the definition. So deemed means if something is deemed a certain way, it is said to be that way for a lot of people. You click got it, and you can move on. So this system is bad for patients and bad for hospitals too. Visiting the ER takes up a great deal of patients' time, and running a busy ER costs hospitals a great deal of money. What if there was another option, like a house call from an intelligent machine? So you have this subheading here. AI can determine what's wrong with a patient. Artificial intelligence, or AI, systems are computer systems that are able to perform complex tasks that usually require human intelligence. These systems can already recognize patterns in medical images like X-rays. Now, a new study shows that with similar training, AI systems can assess a child's medical chart and come up with a diagnosis, a determination of what is wrong with that patient. The study was published on February 11th in the medical journal Nature. The study took place in the Guangzhou Women and Children's Medical Center in southern China. First, a team of physicians reviewed 6,183 medical charts. They summarized the information in these charts into a list of keywords linked to disease-related symptoms or signs such as fever. Researchers then taught these keywords to the AI system. The goal was to get the system to detect these words in real medical charts. Once trained, the system reviewed the electronic health records, or EHRs, of more than 560,000 children. It scanned their charts for key terms. checking if they were present or not in order to come to a conclusion. Finally, it offered diagnoses based on the chart, narrowing down from among 55 illness categories. So as we continue to read, be thinking, what do you think the main idea is for this passage overall? Okay? So another subheading, pretty good for a robo-doc. So how did the robo-doc do? I think it's pretty good, said Mustafa Bashir, an associate professor at Duke University Medical Center. Yay, North Carolina. Bashir was not involved in the study. He said that researchers' work allowed the typical steps of data analysis. It took a giant, messy set of data, put it through a set of computer commands, and created order from the chaos. Still, even though the researchers' approach was not especially new, their system does appear to perform well, Bashir said. He added that the study is notable for the size of the data set involved. So notable, it means it's worth noticing for a particular reason. So you hear that word note in there. Some skeptics might argue that a computer that has processed a lot of patient data cannot provide the same quality of judgment as a doctor. After all, a human doctor can also look at and talk to his or her patient before making a diagnosis. In this case, though, a lot of human expertise was used before the machine training began. New subheading, a project 4 years in the making. This was a massive project that we started about 4 years ago, says study author Kang Zhang. He is a professor of ophthalmology, a branch of medicine that deals with eye disorders at the University of California, San Diego. So it is the science of how eyes work and of diseases in the eyes. To check the system's accuracy, Zhang and his team had a group of human doctors come up with the key terms the AI system would scan for, and also check the machine's conclusions. A second group of doctors was asked to make their own diagnoses using only the data the AI system had access to. The human reviewers gave the machine good grades overall. It agreed with real doctors about 90% of the time. It was especially effective at identifying illnesses of the ear, nose, and throat. For these upper respiratory infections, the AI system got it right 95% of the time. This kind of infection was the most common illness in the huge patient group. Okay, again, keeping in mind, what do you think the main idea of this article is? Because that's what we're looking for. New subheading. Machine would mimic human doctor's decision process. Zhang says that the team now needs to study if the system could possibly miss something really important in a patient's chart. He wants the system to perform at least as well as senior physicians. Of course, human doctors are not perfect either. They make mistakes sometimes too. A human doctor would serve as a backup for the AI system in order to keep up treatment standards. In fact, human and machine would probably follow a similar series of steps. Just like a doctor, the machine starts with a broad category, like respiratory system, which includes the lungs and airways. Then it would focus in on trying to find the root of the problem. Finally, it would make a decision. In this way, the machine mimics the human physician's decision process, says Dong Xiao Su. He is an associate professor of computer science at Wayne State University who did not take part in the study. So if you don't know what mimics means, it means it acts just like something else. Okay. New subheading here. Robot doctors may be a thing of the future. Zhu, however, says this is an augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. Augmented just means greater than or increased greatly. Because the system handled only 55 illness categories. Compared to that to thousands of possibilities in the real world, the machine cannot yet get into the more complex aspects or parts of a medical decision, he says. For example, it could not figure out accompanying conditions or the stage of the disease. Zhu is also concerned about the amount of human work that went into the study, namely, the time and energy spent by human doctors. He spent hours grading the machine's assessment and comparing them to their own. It's no wonder that the process took 4 years. Considering that, it may be a while before you can skip the ER and see a robot doctor instead. Okay, so that's the end of the article. So now you're going to get into the activities. So the first thing I want you to kind of tackle is the power words. Now there are 10 questions, but you'll notice most of these only have 2 answers. So it's kind of an either or situation. So which sentence is an example of the word ophthalmology? Well, you have the definition, remember, in the passage, okay? So you can compare that and know what it means, how the sciences of the eyes work, and diseases of the eyes, and say, okay, well, I can't hear the teacher at school, so I have to go to the doctor, or I can't see the board at school, so I have to go to the doctor. So which one is an example of when you would need to see an ophthalmologist or look at ophthalmology? Well, we know that this is a disease of the eyes, and if we can't see, we need to look at this one, right? This second. Question number 2, which word goes with glasses? Ophthalmology or diagnosis? Well, again, ophthalmology, eyes. You should be able to figure that out. Which word goes with figuring out what illness there is? Diagnosis or ophthalmology? Remember, go back, find that word. Remember, so diagnosis means when a doctor decides what's wrong with a sick person. So which word is it? Okay, so again, these are either or situations. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you should be able to figure it out. And again, these are short questions, so don't feel like you're going to get overwhelmed. It's okay. Okay. So you got a 50-50 shot for each one. Okay. So now I'm going to X out. Open up my activities again. You're going to go to the right section. So this is a short answer. So write a short paragraph, that's 3 to 5 sentences, remember, that explains the central idea and use at least 2 details from the article to support your response. So remember, the first thing you have to do in finding the main idea is, what is the topic? Who or what is this passage mostly about? Well, I'm going to tell you the topic. The topic is using artificial intelligence in diagnosing patients. Okay, using artificial intelligence like a doctor, robo-doctors. So what is the article trying to teach us about robo-doctors and how they might interact in the world and with them currently? Okay, so then the last part, remember, you're only doing the ELA part. You've got 4 multiple choice questions. So the first one, which answer choice best describes 2 central ideas of the article? Well, we've got A new study of AI capabilities suggests that the system can identify more illnesses than previously thought. Skeptics argue the system handled only 55 illness categories. Well, we know that when we're getting into like the numbers and stuff, that's super specific. When we're thinking about main idea, we want something more broad. Answer B. A new study of AI capabilities or abilities shows that it can recognize patterns in medical images like X-rays. Similar technology will allow doctors to more quickly treat broken bones. So, does our article say anything about broken bones? Just think about that. C. A new study suggests that AI can be used to correctly identify what type of illness a patient has. Doctors cannot use this information when children come to busy emergency rooms. D. A new study shows that AI can be used to identify and diagnose illness. Experts point out the system still has a way to go before it reaches the quality and judgment of a real doctor. So which one best shows both the main ideas from the whole article? Remember to include the last section here, okay? This is also part of our main idea, whether we like it or not. Question number 2, which statement would be most important to include in a summary of the article? So now we're looking more at our supporting details. Okay, so the first question goes over the main idea. The second question goes more into supporting details. Okay. Next. Question 3, what is the main reason why the author includes information about the emergency room wait times in the introduction, paragraphs 1 and 2? So that was talking about how long patients had to wait and how terrible it is that we have children and parents suffering because or even being sent home because they can't, they're not getting diagnosed. So why would they include that at all? And question number 4, which quote best explains how the sections are organized to develop understanding? So what does each section do? Think about text structure here, okay? Is it chronological? Is it description? Cause and effect? Compare, contrast? What is it? And that's it for this section. Bye, guys.